Okay, I just wanted to show you quickly how to actually create the actions, since it appears that that video got quite a few views very quickly, and I figured some people may want to know exactly how to create those actions. I'm sure there's tons of videos online that you can find, but anyway, I'll just go ahead and show you. I'm in Photoshop version CS2, so my menus may be different. It's older than all the new stuff, but I'm sure by looking at this, I'll use all the menus rather than using any shortcuts, so you can actually see you know, how they're labeled in the menus, and hopefully none of that has changed. So anyway, step one, you want to create a inside of here. Well, actually, step one is going to be, you probably don't have your action window open here, so you're going to go to Windows and you're going to click on Action. Okay, Window, Actions. That'll pop this up, and then you're going to come down here and say Create a new set. Once you do that, you're going to name it, and we'll call it, I'm just going to call it Demo. You call it Amazon or Merch Demo or whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to, within that set is just a folder, and we're going to actually put the file, which is going to be the action. So we're going to create new action. We're going to name it. Let's name it image size. Actually, let's do canvas size first, because that's probably the first thing you're going to want to do. I'm going to say record, and then you can see the red lights on here, and then all I have to do is go image, canvas size, and let's just change it to 15 by 18 because that is what Merch wants us to use. Okay, so we can see it did that. I'm going to click stop, and now we're done with that. We have an action here. So any file that we ever have opened, or that we want to choose some automation features and do a whole folder worth, you can just come in here and open your files and click this button and press play, and it'll automatically do that for you. Or as I showed you in the other video, you can do, you know, automate and batch, and then you can do it with the whole folder, or you can do it with every file that you have opened all at once. Okay, and so next thing I would do is look at image size. This one's at 200 dpi, so we know that we're going to want to go record one, a new one, and we're going to call it image size. And you can call these whatever you want, whatever makes sense for your workflow. And let's just go image size. Let's change it to 300 dpi, 15 by 18. And say OK. And now we can fit on the screen. Okay, so now we know what we have here. We've got image size. So anytime we have a file that we want to change the image size, we can just come here and click play while we have that file open, or as I said before, do it to a whole batch. Alright, so as we can see, our image is a little small here. We're probably going to want to resize that. So if on average you say you want to increase the size of all of your graphics that you're creating in outside of Photoshop by, you know, 20% or 40% or whatever that number turns out to be, then we can figure that out. All right, so let's do another new. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to get off of this first. Okay, do another new one, and let's call it Resize, and let's increase it by 20%. And call it record. Okay, so all I'm going to do is grab my graphic here, and I always keep this on, show transformation controls, just because it's easier to get to rather than having to go through the menu. Got it selected, and I am going to go, actually I'll do it this way, transform scale. I'll lock this, and I'll change this to 120%, and hit enter. And we can see it's locked, so it's changed that in both ways. And you have to hit enter. Sometimes you have to hit it twice. Alright, and so I'll hit stop again. And we'll see now we can, if we click this and click play again, it's going to bump it up another 20%. So that's kind of nice. If you want to do it in small increments, you can always hit it twice if you're manually looking at the file. But if you want it fully automated, then you kind of want to get it right in one shot. Alright. So that's going to give you an idea of how to create these, and then this is super cool. If you want all of this to happen in just one click, then what you can do is we will do a new one, and we'll say do all, or however you want to describe it. Say record. Oh, I forgot to move it down to my here, I'm going to stop this and do it again. Put it in my default actions instead of the one I was working on here. So, all right, let's go new. We'll call it do all. And right here, instead of default actions, I want to move it down to demo. Say record. And so this time we're recording, and all I have to do is go change the canvas size, hit play, and now it's going to play that action. Go to image size, hit play, and it'll do that action. Go to resize 20%, hit play, it'll do that action. Now I'm going to hit stop, and what we'll do is if you look at the do all one that we just made, it's going to play that action, and then play that action, and then play that action. So of course you don't have to separate it into these. You can do this all at once just right from the start, but it's kind of nice to have it like this, because then you can do one thing, you know, just pick a process that you want to do and not have to do it all at once. But then you have the option to come back here and easily add do it all at once. All right, so I'm going to shrink this down, whoops, just to see what happens. Okay, so if I click that one, click play, it's going to do all of those things. So if I click it again, it'll bump it up another 20%, and it'll keep doing all of those actions, but if it's already done, it's not going to hurt it to do it again as far as the image size and canvas size. So now if we go and look at this, it's 15 by 18, right? It's ready to go. So you can also put in here your save features and that sort of thing. So you can automatically save these all. So you can click a button, it'll do all the actions, and then save it right to the folder of your choice, and you'll be done with it. So you won't have to take a lot of time. Now there may be some problems that you find with that when you do a full folder full of automation, but still, going back and editing 5 or 6 that may need an edit versus going through and manually editing all 500 is quite a big difference. So you'll notice any problems as you go to upload it to Amazon Merch, hopefully. But anyway, hopefully that will help you out with